It seems like conservatives, like you, like Charlie Kirk, like Dan Crenshaw, feel threatened by America First conservatives and America First ideas.
So, first of all, I'm happy to address any ideas. I'm not happy to debate somebody who has joked about murdering me. That's fantastic. Can you look at videos of him, actual videos of him doing things like playing Grand Theft Auto, running over an Orthodox Jew, cackling maniacally?
I'm Jewish.
You are Jewish?
Yes.
You are Jewish?
Yes.
Fine, no problem.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering. This is a really bizarre story that came out over the weekend. I mean, I hope it's not true, but it's weird. So everybody knows what's kind of going on between the Daily Wire and Candace Owens. Allegedly, there's a non-disparagement clause between the two, which is not uncommon when two high-profile people split, company and high-profile person. That's not a weird thing. I'm not surprised by that. But last week it was broke that, like Glenn Greenwald, that they did have this non-disparagement agreement, and they also had a gag order placed on Candace Owens, even though the Daily Wire was publicly courting a debate between them and Candace Owens. To me, again, the non-disparagement clause, the gag order, all this stuff would have been things that Candace willingly signed, I guess, not the gag order, but the non-disparagement clause when she quit. So that doesn't make me feel weird at all. The weird part is that they were publicly acting like they were going to have a debate, even though they clearly never intended on having that debate, and in fact sued her or went through some sort of legal mediation to make sure that it would never happen. So that was kind of the sussy part of it. Now a new claim out there says that Ben Shapiro is working behind the scenes with a particular journalist to pump out a bunch of hit pieces about Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, and Charlie Kirk, which seems odd to me. It seems like a huge stretch, but who even knows these days anymore? So let's take a look. By the way, Mother's Day is this coming up weekend. I've got you covered. Coffee Brand Coffee's Mother's Day gift boxes are awesome. They sell out every year. Order yours today with promo code MOTHER so you can save. Put your order, go to coffeebrandcoffee.com. You'll see a link on the homepage to the Mother's Day gift boxes, or there's gift boxes on the top. You can build your own. So if they don't like a particular type of coffee, you can get cocoa, you can build snacks, all sorts of stuff. It's really easy to do. Or you can get this pre-built one, which includes our brand new toffee brand toffee, our kettle corn saltwater taffy, as well as medium roast. Perfect gift. You don't even have to wrap it. Comes set to go. Coffeebrandcoffee.com. Promo code MOTHER to save. Now, Censored Man, who is a very popular Twitter account and who has seemingly had a couple of inside tracks to Daily Wire inside information, put out this. You may recognize this account as somebody who had that internal Daily Wire email, allegedly. That said they were having an all hands on deck meeting and that they were going to talk, they were going to have it in Candace's studio and all this and the other, which, by the way, wouldn't have been that odd. What was weird about it is that nobody confirmed or denied it. So even though Censored Man put out that email and it looked like it could have been real, nobody denied. And I'm sorry, it put out that email. I tried to verify its authenticity, but nobody would. And Daily Wire eventually never responded about it. So I'm inclined to believe that was actually true. Now this person puts out, Ben Shapiro is working behind the scenes with journalists to discredit his enemies. Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Andrew Tate, Charlie Kirk. Ben Shapiro, through behind the scenes network of, quote, pro-Israel journalists, is allegedly employing Isaac Schorr to write hit pieces targeting all of his enemies. To date, Isaac Schorr of Mediaite has went after Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Charlie Kirk, and Cobra Tate at Shapiro's behest. Now, this is an extraordinary claim, thus would require extraordinary evidence. I'm sure there are people who just don't like Ben and are willing to believe this at face value, but this is a very, very serious claim. The source claims that Isaac never published a single article about Candace Owens on the website until the day they tweeted "Christ is King," which infuriated Ben. Ben views Tucker as Candace and Candace as his mortal enemies. That's according to this source. Again, anonymous source, could be completely made up. Okay. I don't want to, even though I definitely don't agree with the duplicity of pretending to want to do a debate, even though you were trying to sue the woman behind the scenes. Up until that, there have been things I disagreed with on Ben. I don't hate the guy. We disagree on certain political things, but I don't hate him such to a point where I'm like willing to automatically believe anything negative about him. So I want to try and give him the benefit of the doubt here. Quote, his issue with Charlie is that he continues to work with them while not committing himself fully enough to the Israeli narrative. Again, when they start talking about Israel this, Israel that, it just gets my spider senses going a little bit. Like, okay, but I mean, obviously Ben has taken a very strong pro-Israel stance. Ben wants a rift between the three and is using a network of journalists. By the way, that network of journalists is apparently just one journalist, as an attack to smear them as anti-Semitic. The website reveals that Isaac Schorr exclusively writes puff pieces about Ben, while exclusively writing hit pieces about Charlie, Tucker, Candace, and Andrew, often mentioning a combination of them with the same articles. Now, what we could have here is, with this Isaac Schorr individual, is it could just be somebody who happens to also be Jewish and happens to be a big fan of Ben Shapiro. We would need some level of, receipts that exist between the two, where Ben is asking him or telling him to write these articles, or Ben was retweeting these articles, things of that nature. But you see, April 10th, Tucker Carlson accuses Israel of doing bad things. Tucker Carlson once bailed on an event he was hosting over a conspiracy theory he's now promoting. Charlie Kirk says he's impatient with many Jews for accepting anti-white bigotry and warns countries on the road to terrible things. Ben Shapiro goes nuclear in takedown of con artist Andrew Tate. Ben Shapiro's on the warpath to purge conspiratorial cranks from the right. Exclusive Turning Point USA is operating a secret website distancing itself from Candace Owens. So what you see here are, obviously anti-Tucker Carlson articles, anti-Charlie Kirk articles, anti-Andrew Tate, and kind of positioning Ben Shapiro as, the good guy. Ben Shapiro roasts Marjorie Taylor Greene and Republican clowns for going after Mike Johnson. Charlie Kirk blames birth control for creating very angry and bitter young ladies while weighing in on women's prime. Daily Wire CEO blasts Candace Owens over Christ is King refrain. You are a blasphemer, an anti-Semite, and a piece of crap. Whoa. Christopher Rufo savages Candace Owens. So they're promoting any kind of negative Candace Owens, negative Charlie Kirk or Tucker Carlson articles, while featuring Ben Shapiro in the thumbnail. I mean, certainly I think it wouldn't be a wild stretch. It wouldn't be a wild stretch to at least say that this Isaac Schorr individual is running cover for Ben or is pro-Ben. That's not the salacious part. The salacious part would be as if there was some sort of connection, which I have not seen yet, that other than this anonymous claim, you see Mediaite is an American news website founded on focusing on politics in the media, founded by Dan Abrams, and is a part of the Abrams Media Network. We can go to Dan Abrams. Don't really see any response to this. He's, talking about AP accepts Gaza Health Ministry's claim. So he's pretty active on Twitter. Don't see him interacting, mentioning anything about, for example, this obvious bombshell story. Him retweeting, this is so ridiculous, embarrassing, in particular for those who are graduates of Columbia Law. So he's obviously against the college demonstrations, the critical of Israel demonstration. So maybe Dan Abrams is picked a side there, but again, that's a stretch. You see Andrew Tate, public service announcement. Andrew Schorr is a, quote, journalist that behind the scenes is being instructed to attack Ben's enemies for him. He goes after me, Candace, Tucker, Charlie Kirk, and Ben Shapiro's behalf while simultaneously writing puff pieces about Ben so this little B can keep his hands clean. I'm sure they're sucking each other off. Again, I don't know. You see, I don't know if there's ever been a more catastrophic implosion. This and the situation with Candace and Tucker have exposed him, and he's tanking as a result. You go to Isaac Schorr here. Oh, you see here, Sam Parker for Senate, apparently. Bombshell reports by Censorman Corbertate yesterday. Ben Shapiro behind the scenes is working on this. After unceremoniously firing Candace Owens, the Daily Israeli Wire, Ben Shapiro publicly pretended to engage in Candace Owens in good faith debate, but it turns out that he was secretly obtaining a gag order behind the scenes. It's well known the role that Ben Shapiro originally had in getting Nick deplatformed years ago. Shapiro's former colleague at Breitbart, Charles Johnson, had outed Shapiro as getting tasking from Israeli intelligence in the past. Interesting. This is another, high-profile individual sharing information. Obviously, you go to Mediaite. Who is this Schorr individual? I mean, a relative nobody. I don't mean that to be negative about them. We all know Ben's very mad about Nick's Grand Theft Auto clip that he made. I don't know. It is a wild claim to make that would require serious evidence, but it's obviously got a lot of, this has got 11,000 likes, nearly 1 million impressions. Somebody, I would assume, would make some sort of comment about this. You see Isaac Schorr, he is a writer for Mediaite. Okay. I don't see anything really. He's retweeting the public service announcement thing, so he's leaning into it. I don't know if there's ever been a more catastrophic implosion. Writing there, Ben's decline. So he's writing. Oh, I'm sorry. He's just retweeting. Why does Andrew spend so much time whining about on his phone? I don't know. Sam Parker, why do you spend so much of your life being a Ben Shapiro's little bee? This is such a wild shot. Okay, but is it true? Mask off, exposed, no turning back. I don't know. I mean, people obviously believe it to be true. I would require a little bit more evidence, but I mean, at minimum, this Isaac Schorr guy is very, very pro Ben and very, very anti Tucker and Candace. That's obviously very true. You can see operating a secret website, distancing himself from Candace Owens, but this isn't exactly some sort of, master journalist. Very rarely do they get more than 3 or 4 comments. The conspiracy runs farther than you realize. I don't know. Obviously, he's being facetious about it. I don't know. Let me know what you think. He's obviously leaning into it. It's good press for him, true or not. It could be, but whether it's true or not, it's just not a good look for Daily Wire, and I would hope that they come out and obviously distance themselves from this, or simply point out that there's no direct evidence other than an anonymous source as quoted by an anonymous account. What do you think? You think it's true? Not a great time for big conservative media. I don't think people are picking sides. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.